Hello, everybody. Okay, I finally made it. I'm sorry I didn't make an episode last week. I need to take a little bit break and I'm back. I thought I was going to be able to do one last week. I didn't. I lied. Sue me. Anyway, I didn't lie. I really did felt like I was going to, and then I just didn't. Okay, a couple announcements that we need to go into the Medium Brew Cafe for. So let's go in here. Okay. First of all, I have some little bit of information I want to remind everybody in case you're not on my Instagram, in case you're not on my Patreon, but because I post a lot of things on Instagram and Patreon. I had 50% off for a while, and I can't hear, where's my cafe people? Where's my medium brew? Oh, there they are. Is it too loud? Are you guys too loud? I don't think so. I like the vibes. I like the vibes. Um yeah, I had 50% off for a while and everyone was like, this is really helpful. This is really helping. And then I took it away, and then people in all my readings have been like, I feel like I'm at a crossroads. I don't know where to do. I don't know where to go. I don't know what's up. I don't know what's down. I just been noticing people are still having a hard time, and rightfully so. I understand. People feel like we're in certain times, and a lot is to do with what's going on in the world, but a lot of it has to do with what's going on with AI and things like and robots entering to it. Um, and just not that robots have taken over people's jobs, but the whole concept of the future that we're moving into. People are seeing it in very much in the categories that I've been telling you, which is healthcare, education, and the food industry. So people are just kind of worried in general. So I extended my 50% off with the code return50. Isn't that fitting? Return 50. I also did an Instagram live and I was talking about my mentorship, and people were like, they didn't know. And I was like, wait a minute. Here's the thing. I post things all the time. I post things on Instagram. I post things on Patreon. And I'm like, doesn't everybody see? And I forget, we're so bombarded with so much in content that I know it's really hard for people to navigate through all of that. So I get it. I super get it. So I'm just reminding people here again that I do offer mentoring, and I think it was really fun that people didn't realize that I do that. And some people said that practitioners, a lot of people don't mentor people. It's one of my favorite things I do, is to help people develop their gifts, help people to kind of move forward things in their life, to kind of make changes in their life depending on what people want my mentorship for. And so shout out to all my mentees who are just killing it. I have some people are going professional readers, and it's one of my favorite things. And lastly, and most importantly, my book. This is my book. If you're watching on YouTube, this is my book from Barnes and Noble. I have now have added on the spine. I have a spine. I have a spine, everyone. I always have had a spine, but I have a spine, printed on here, the seer, the origin story. And that's really fun. And the version from Barnes and Noble is very different. Like the texture is smoother and it doesn't stain as easily. I don't know, stain like your grease things. I mean, it's a little bit. It's almost identical to Amazon, but a little different. The pages are a little bit different. I can just feel the paper is a little different, but you can get this on barnesandnoble.com if you want. They're not in stores. This is like such a harder thing to do. What I've been focused on, and I've kind of lost track of it, and I'm going to get back on it, is promoting my book to get traction, and then that helps get it in stores. It's a lot, everybody. But if you could leave a review of my book, I'm doing like a influencer thing. If you can hear me, I'm tapping because I'm not an influencer. If you could review this book on Amazon.com, it helps it push up and tell me what you think, please. I have people message me and tell me that what they think about it, and I love that, and I appreciate it, and I want to hear everything you guys have to say. But review on Amazon is be so helpful. Also, please leave a review. I've had like very few reviews lately on my podcast. I get stars, but no one's writing anything. That also helps. So those are my things. If you want to check out my Patreon where I post meditations and classes and things like this and energy climates daily, go ahead and go to my Patreon and you can join up. It's very inexpensive. It's like, what do they say? It's a cost of a coffee. Not today. You're like, damn, Adela, not today. Not today. Coffee is a lot more. All right, now I have one more thing.
23 Skidoo, 24, and Aunt Betty says.
In case you didn't hear that, here we go.
23 Skidoo, 24, and Aunt Betty says.
Shout out to somebody who asked me, like, we haven't heard from Aunt Betty. What does she have to say? Oh, let me tell you, Aunt Betty has a lot to say. But one of the main things she told me is that to kind of let everyone know, she's 93 and she's kind of like seeing everything going on and the world and all of that. And she's like, yeah, it's just very different for her. My favorite thing with Aunt Betty is trying to get her online, trying to get her to understand that she could actually go online. Because she calls me sometimes and goes, "What's going on?" And I have to like give her the backstory. And it's like, hey, listen, I'm no expert, Aunt Betty, but Aunt Betty is doing well and she has a birthday coming up, and I'll announce that when it's her birthday. But yeah, she's kind of sitting back and going, just let the young people know, like even us people at this age is like, damn. She didn't say that, but that's some favorite. Damn. All right. With that said, let's go out into what we're going to be doing today. Okay. I have a couple of things. I have some people who have written some things in updates, and then I've had some people written some things in that, they want to share. But before we read those, let's get to the subject at hand. I had somebody kind of give me their like request in a reading, let alone they gave me they called it a pitch. They're like, here's my pitch for a subject I'd like you to do on your podcast at the end of the reading, which I thought was great. And what their pitch was, hold on, I'm getting my notes up. It's the Marfa Lights. So I've never heard of these. I checked out some of the YouTube videos of the Marfa Lights. I'm going to use my little spidey senses and tune in and tell you what I feel about the Marfa Lights. And in general, the Marfa Lights are like, well, let me explain to you what they are for those of you who don't know. Because if you're like me and you haven't heard of it, I'm going to explain to you. So they're located in Texas, and sightings have happened all the way back to the 1800s, pre-car era. A lot of people, there are these lights, they're like balls of light that go down this specific area in Texas, and it's like down this road. I'm going to give you like my chat GPT, like gives me like, I want to know exactly where are they. And then they even have, it's been like a phenomenon for a while that people have seen them. Oh wait, hold on. I'm asking, come on, chat. Come on, chat. Be cool. Be cool. Be cool. Be cool. Be cool. Okay, so they have a viewing area, and it's 9 miles east of Marfa. So it's US Route 90. So here's the problem. It's giving me the coordinates. You want to know the coordinates? No, I don't. Thanks, chat. I'm not gonna, take my compass out and go over to the Marfa Lights. Anyway, people have spotted these. They're like basically spheres, orbs that they have seen. And the debate is that some people think this is just like a reflection of car headlights. And some people feel like it's some kind of like there's a scientific explanation that is about 80% like foolproof, meaning like this is kind of leaning on that side. But there's a lot of people who say, and that's what I was going to read to, kind of convey to you. I decided like, I've been reading on here and I don't really like that. It's not my style. I don't want to just sit and read to you guys. like not reading, quote unquote, like my readings, but like reading like on paper, like here's what I have in my notes. I don't want to just do that to you guys. But anyway, um, so some people feel that the sightings are back since the 1800s. So they're like, well, it can't just be cars because, they've been going on for a long time. Even Native Americans have said they have seen them and for a long time. So there's debate on if this is true. They sometimes appear in areas where there's no roads, and locals say they behave unlike headlights. So this is a big part of what people are saying. And I've looked at videos, and I'll tell you what I concluded because it depends on the video. So the pros is support for mystery. That's the pros. The cons is studies show that they match car headlights, appear consistently along with the highway, and likely caused by refraction over the desert air, rarely observed in a person without traffic. So here's the thing. It's really cool. I saw them, and here's my take on it. When it comes to paranormal activity and it comes to things that are either ghostly or UFOs or anything like this, the problem is that they don't tend to like reappear. That is not consistent to how the paranormal world works. In other words, it usually kind of happens when you're least expecting it, not looking for it, kind of surprised by it, and it's not going to be something happening all the time. Now, you may say, Adela, what about hauntings? What about people who see the same person in the white dress or the same guy, sitting in the basement? You are correct. That is true. That happens, but it's not every day. It's not all the time. If you even look at those things, it happens sometimes to certain people. Sometimes it doesn't to other people, which makes it more believable. Believe it or not, the more inconsistent a paranormal activity is, the more on brand, as they say, is the paranormal activity. So I kind of feel like the videos kind of show, there's videos that show them kind of moving around and splitting apart and everything like this. Um, and then some videos I've seen, they look very much like car headlights to me. Intuitively, and speaking from a medium perspective, I don't see anything. I wanted to believe it was this. I wanted to believe it was our friends, our alien friends. I really wanted to believe that. Like, this is what I wanted to believe. I was like, yes, it's aliens, because aliens do have to not let's just say interdimensional alien beings do travel in these type of spheres, or they do have a light energy around them. And this is consistent to who they are. But these look very much like headlights to me. Sorry, everybody. And they feel psychically and intuitively that way to me. Believe me, I wanted it to be something else, but it doesn't check my boxes. My boxes are like, they even have like a viewing area. Yeah, that doesn't feel right to me, to how I've seen those types of beings exist. Like, meaning like there's going to be like a viewing area, and they're going to like show up for people to view them. First of all, aliens don't like that. They don't like being filmed. They won't allow themselves to be filmed. They'll tend to like mess up electronics, their frequency. So that doesn't feel consistent to me. And spirits kind of are the same way. They don't love being filmed either. They're not a fan of that. They don't really want to be kind of treated like your entertainment. And they wouldn't like just show up to be like a circus for you. Spirits won't, aliens won't. So I feel like it's kind of like one of those things, like, I never can say this word, but a borealis. Is that how you say it? Am I saying it right? I mean, you can like troll me in the comments for saying it wrong. I don't even care. I'll just block you. Anyway, um, um, Yes, it could. I kind of, that was the first thing that came to me. The first thing that came to me, it's like it's some kind of phenomenon like that, either to do with the earth or either to do with something tangible like cars, headlights. So I really, really wanted to believe, like, I was like, oh, I want this to be kind of otherworldly, kind of alienish, but I don't feel it and I don't see it. It felt like, yes, things can, you know how like your eyes can, you can look at something and you can look at a light or you can look at anything and you're like, whoa, this is like cool things that are happening, and your eyes can kind of be tricky with you. It kind of felt like that. So I'm not putting a big check mark for you to say, yes, this is what it is. It doesn't hit my check marks. It's too like consistently happening often. It doesn't happen every day, but it is consistent with people with headlights. People are viewing it. In other words, just so everyone knows, paranormal activity, paranormal things will happen when people least expect it. A lot of times paranormal beings, spirits, all the above do this because they know you'll catch you off guard and it will make you more open to it. Meaning, like if you're staring at it and you're looking at it, they're not likely to show up for that because they kind of don't, they see that as you'll read too much into it or you'll read the wrong thing. In other words, it's like they want to get you out of your mind. They want you to be more in the like open, like, whoa, something just magical just happened to me. They kind of tend to operate that way, especially aliens and spirits. So I know that like people can come at me and say, no, for sure, they've been seeing these in the Native American. So if it was happening in the 1800s, as they're saying, if this is true and it was during the Native American times, then I feel that it must be something to do with the light, the moon hitting in a certain kind of way or something. I just don't feel it. And then my sight doesn't tell me, sorry, everyone. Sorry, Charlie. That's like an old camera. I just aged myself in 2 seconds. Or is that just a saying anyway? Maybe it's just a saying anyway. All right, let's move on to our people who called in their story. Not called in, they wrote in their stories. So we're going to go first here. This is like a follow up. And let's see. So this is Emily. I'm just going to change the vibes. Let's change the vibes a little bit. This is like, this podcast is going to be like a little light, little fun, and a little brief. Because I think that I'm having a hard time because I've changed my format. So I'm still getting a hang of it. Does that make sense? You know, as something grows, you kind of learn like what works, what doesn't work. And for me, I'm still kind of like getting a hang of like how I want to do it. I really still love your stories. I still love you to send them in, maybe even to just read them. But when it comes to me doing like these real stories, I have to like do the it's not just me using my site like I'm used to, and you guys are providing the stories, which was so easy. I also have to do a little bit of my research and kind of make sure I have that on top of getting sound effects, on top of me doing the reading of it. So, you know, you got to find your vibe. Does that make sense? Um, you got to find your groove, let's just say. And this is still kind of new to me, this format. So I'm still finding my groove. All right, here we go. A little music for her. It says, hi, Adela. I was on your podcast a few years ago, episode 6, and I shared a story about a spirit that was in my laundry room, a little girl that has moved on since my appearance on the house medium. In that episode, you saw that I would be getting pregnant soon, and 7 months ago, I had a spooky little boy on Halloween. Damn. Oh, damn. Where's my wand drop? See, you guys, I am really spot on when it comes to like, is this, let me see. Is this one? Is this it? Well, we're going to do this one because I can't find the other one. But I telling you, I have a good track record. It's not much of a wand drop that. Whoa. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. I do have a track record when it comes to people and seeing spirits. I connect to spirit babies and I can see them before they come to this place, and I speak to them. And I believe if you connect to the spirit of the baby, it helps. So, yeah, I do have a good track record with that, everyone. Just saying. Oh, a spooky little boy on Halloween, even. We love it. Okay. I wanted to share that update along with other experiences that might be fun for the reader's room. Okay, maybe I could turn this down just a little bit more. Okay. Well, we're changing things a little bit, so I'm just sharing it right on here. Okay. Totally. Okay, so here we go. About a month ago, I was rocking my baby to sleep. It was a peaceful evening, but he was more awake than usual. Typically, he goes to sleep pretty quickly after his lullaby. He was looking around the room, and all of a sudden, he started giggling immediately. My mind went to, holy cow, who's in the room with us? But I wasn't really taking my thoughts seriously because I tend to freak myself out and then I don't sleep. Then he started looking back and forth with between me and the spot in the room, and he was laughing at. He only does this if he's looking at me for confirmation that whoever else is there is okay. I had to watch him do this exact same thing with my friend a few days ago. So I started paying closer attention as he's laughing. I'm feeling tingles up and down my right side, the direction he's looking in, and it's so familiar. I've absolutely felt presence before in the same way. I also wear glasses, and your listeners with glasses will know when you look out of the corner of your eye, you see the arm of your glasses and it's kind of obscures your view. I noticed that this little area of my sight had become pretty fuzzy and almost as though there was density to it. I looked directly at the spot my son was laughing at, and like some sort of thick haze had covered the space between me and the rest of the room. There was nothing physically. Hold on. There was nothing physically there that I could see anyway, but if you can imagine, it seemed like the room was out of focus and at the same time elongated just in that one spot, like it was further away than it normally is. Finally, I said out loud, if you are a family member, thank you for the visit, but you're freaking me out and I'd like for you to go now. I learned that from listening to your podcast and from your advice on the episode I was on. The tingles in my body moved toward the right side of my head like a small embrace and then swirled around and landed right in the center of my chest or heart chakra area. And just like that, the energy was gone. My son went to sleep pretty quickly, and after that, didn't seem to mind the energy had either come or gone. I myself felt quite peaceful afterwards, despite the fact that I was definitely freaked out. So I know for sure it was someone who loves us very much, and I think I know who, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. Anyway, thanks so much and hope as well. Okay, thank you, Emily, for that update. Hold on. I'm going to tell you, but I just wanted to kind of check on this other one. I wanted to check on this other real quick before. Okay. So, how do I feel? I feel like when you were talking, the baby's laughing in the corner and seeing that and seeing the tingle. I mean, the only vision I get is of a woman, and she looks kind of young, but she could be showing herself young. When people pass, they can kind of go into any image they want. They can kind of revert back to any image they want. So the first feeling I got was I saw this woman, and she seemed to be kind of very loving. I feel like it's like motherish. So it could be a mother or grandmother, but it didn't feel like anything negative. Absolutely felt like someone who's just like doing the cooing and playing. This is very common with babies. Like if you see babies laughing at something, it's kind of like reminds me of cats or something. They can see things in an area that we're not really aware of, but it feels pretty cut and dry. Nothing really big going on here. Just it kind of looked like maybe someone I see a woman on the mother's side. So you handled it correctly. You did what you needed to do. Next time, I would say, hey, be gone. But if you have a good feeling, I would say, hey, but we love hearing from you. We're glad that you connected with us, because if it is someone you feel loved and connected to, you want them to return or continue to connect with you. But thanks for writing that in. I really appreciate it. Okay. Oh, I went away from it. I don't know if I did this one. But I think I might have did. This is from Anahit, but I think I already did this one. So I don't want to take a chance. And I think that was the only one. If I didn't do that one Anahit already, then just let me know. But I do like getting yours in, your stories in. I wanted to let everybody know that I wanted to really do an episode on the Winchester house. Then that takes a little more planning, but I wanted to get something out. So if I decide to do a second episode this week and I just pop it in, I don't really want to be, it's like I'm kind of trying to play catch up. So I don't want to like have you guys confused about when my podcasts come out. They usually come out every Tuesday. That's what I consistently try to do. This one's going to as obviously come out earlier than that. And I want to plan for this one. The Winchester house seems really fascinating. It's the one that has all the different doors. The person who like built all these crazy different, like stairs that lead to nowhere and all that kind of stuff. Some people think that they went a little cuckoo, but honestly, some people feel that creating like portals and things like this. So we're going to check that out for the next episode. I really wanted this one. I really appreciate the person who suggested for me to do this. Also, wanted to give a shout out. Some of you suggested for podcasts for me to go on to promote my book, and I really appreciate it, because I'm not going to tell you which, but one of them did come through, and I'm excited for you guys to hear me on that episode. Feel free to drop in a line to me of any podcast you feel like I might fit and be good to go on. I'd love to hear your suggestions. I really love hearing your suggestions. I don't always take them. But I do like to hear from you. And I want people to realize that I listen and I appreciate back and forth. I'd love it if people would comment on Instagram, but I don't feel like that's some place people comment as much as they used to. Um, Unless it's negative. That's what I've noticed. Unless someone's telling me I'm going to hell or something, and everybody wants to comment on. And here on YouTube too, all the time, people have no problem saying like, "Oh no, you don't see anything," blah blah blah. It's like negative comments for some reason. Why are we like this, people? Why are humans this way? Why this is a negative attract more? Is it just like a triggering thing? I don't know. But I do get a lot of positive comments too, and I get a lot of feedback, especially in DMs, which I really, really appreciate. Wanted to remind everybody, if you have any questions about my readings, or you have any questions about my mentorships, or about my book, or anything, or suggestions, go ahead and email me at thehousemedium@gmail.com. If you have any story ideas, if you have any questions about readings, email me at adalelevine@gmail. If you have any questions if you want to send in a story, I want to hear your stories. I want to know your feedback. Like, what do you think about which topics you want me to cover? I've heard a lot of feedback that people like the change that I'm doing more mainstream stuff. One of the things I want to do really bad is A Fire in the Sky. It's that story about the guys who said they were abducted by aliens. Listen, I saw that movie and it freaked me the F out. And I really want to do an episode on that one, because I want to dive in now, because I saw that movie before I was a professional reader and really understood my abilities. Now I really want to take a look and see what I see. That would be a good one. So send your suggestions into the House Medium. Send in your stories to the House Medium, that I'll either read them. If I really feel like it's a strong fit, I'll have you on. I'm still doing that part too. Thank you all so much. And thank you for the little rocky couple of weeks. I super appreciate it. And I appreciate all your love and support. If you want to support my work, book a reading, get a mentorship, or even just join my Patreon. All of it supports, or just drop a line. Just drop a line. Follow yourself, follow no one, listen to your inner voice, and I'll see you soon.